Hey everyone, Colin once again. Welcome back to the next episode review of My Home Hero. This time, well, I'm doing a double, reviewing both episodes of 6 and 7 because last week when episode 6 came out, apparently my Crunchyroll, I guess they screwed up with the subtitles when they came out in episode 6. They were not exactly what we saw in My Home Hero. They confused it with from another episode, what was called My Clueless First Friend, I think it was. And I'm just sitting there watching, why was all, what's wrong with these subtitles? How come they don't match up what was while watching? And I had to figure they had to be they mixed up from another show though, but it turns out I was right because it was from My Clueless First Friend, I think it was. And I'm just watching, I'm like, this is really weird, and it was kind of bugging me, and it really was. So I just had to wait for a bit to for the subtitles to get fixed. So finally they did though. But yeah, that's the reason why I couldn't view it last Sunday, because they screwed up the subtitles. So, but now with episode 6 though, regardless of that though, all that little mishap aside, it was still a good episode. It still was. Just needed to understand what was going on with the subtitles though. That's all. But with My Home Hero episode 6, excuse me, clear my throat here. That Totsu, the husband, and with the guy Kiyoshi, that he's getting a little bit suspicious with Totsu, even though after the end of the previous episode, that after finding out that guy that Totsu was talking to at the bar, that Nobutu, where he hung out with, right? Turns out that's his son. That was his father that was there. And upon realizing that, though, before he got a chance to ask him before, but he just disappeared though. So he's kind of worried about that, and then when Kiyoshi takes him to another place where there's this like an RV, right, where some other guys they're trying to figure out about that video that Totsu and his wife had a friend of theirs from back in college, right, have him film, about trying to disguise himself as Nobutu, right, and wearing the wig and the shirt, right, and they're trying to debunk that video, and it turns out their suspicions are right, because it turns out it is like a fake video. It is a fake video because they found it because the way the guy walks. I mean, they know that Nobuto, he walks in a certain way, right? And they dismissed this video because the guy in that video wasn't walking the way he was. So I guess it shows a realism because of this family, who's just an ordinary family, right? They didn't take into account they never knew how the way the guy walked, right? So they go like, oh wow, that's because of the way they walked. So yeah, which they kind of figured that the video wouldn't work anyway, but they tried though. At least they tried. But and then afterwards, Kiyoshi arrives at their house, right? And this was pretty funny though, but because Kiyoshi was starting to get a little bit suspicious, right? And because he noticed something that was in their house that he didn't ask before though, that big flower pot that he put that Totsu put Nobuto's remains in, and he was suspicious of that because he never planted anything in that pot. So he told him to bring it out back and dump it dump it out. And think basically almost practically nothing was in that soil, which almost he felt relieved until he saw that one single blonde hair, right? And he almost getting caught of that until when his wife Kasen comes back home, and he offers some coffee to him, right? And he has some, and then her husband has some, and then the guy turns out to the wife, Kasen, the wife, put laxatives in the guy's coffee, but also her husband drank a little bit of that too. So since there was only one bathroom, Kiyoshi goes to use that bathroom, and he's just like, whoa, he's in there with the shit. So, and now Totsu, he can't use the bathroom, so he has to go out in the back to buy the trash cans to take a shit too, right? And then when his daughter comes over and sees him like that, I'm like, oh, oh boy. And he's like, oh, no, that's not what. And Rika, the daughter, at this point, her parents are acting kind of weird, so she's getting a little bit suspicious on them, which that could more plays into the next episode though. But that was just funny though. They pull for the shits into because they expect her husband to take a sip of that coffee too, right? But yeah, and which basically leads leading into the next episode of episode 7. So picking that off though, that Kiyoshi, which by the way I gotta put aside. I know that it's been a week since he had that this whole thing started, right, with that injury and all that. I think it's time for the Totsu to get rid of that clear bandage, right? Because I think it's starting to. I said it look. I think I remember saying it looks silly though. I know that they can't use the whole regular white bandages though, but I think it's probably time to take off that bandage. I think it's because to me it's starting to look pretty silly now. I'm just saying though. But Kiyoshi, he's like, he's getting very suspicious, and then he leaves, and then the daughter. Now this also, she's getting very suspicious that her parents are acting weird, right? And when she was about to go out, she noticed something in her shoe, a note that was left by Kiyoshi saying that your parents are hiding something, and let's meet up somewhere, right? So they're now eventually the husband and wife, they know about what Rika's be doing though, and she has his wife take a bag that's filled with a little box that's filled with Hobuto's bones and a small tablet, with all the stuff that basically can frame whoever is thinking that they killed him, right? And because they find out that the key, because they've been now hacking into this Kiyoshi's his keyloggers, his emails, right? So Kasen goes to Majima is just what his last name is, and she goes to his mother's place, and her mother Kiyoshi's mother, very nice lady though, and she's talking to the mom and pretending to do like a survey and stuff, right? And she tells a story that she sees a photo. She sees a photo of back when Kiyoshi was little, and with his father and her mother, right? Explaining that they used to run a diner, right? And then one thing leading into another, that they eventually fell into like the mob syndicate, right? And one thing leads to another, that they couldn't, especially his dad, couldn't deal with it. So eventually we showed that he hanged himself. And since Kiyoshi was been into more dependent, trying to support his mom, right, showing that he's been a really good. The mom's claim that he's been a really good son, trying to supporting, giving his mom necessities, right, showing that he's been a really good son. Saying that I don't know what would I do without him, right? And Kasen, feeling guilty about what she was going to do to his mom though, so she decided not to take the bag with her, so that wouldn't have to do that to his mom. So, and then Kiyoshi goes back takes Tosa back to his daughter's apartment, right? And like Tosa's getting having little flashes about when he killed Hobuto and when the bathtub and all that with the rice cooker. Yeah. He handcuffs. First, Kiyoshi makes a call to somebody, buys certain items, right? And then he handcuffs Totsu to the door so that he wouldn't go anywhere. So, but I'll call you, or how you doing though. So, but eventually he slips through the handcuffs through via soap, right? Hand soap, and Rika is alone by herself, texting to Kiyoshi, right? Explaining what your parents are up to. They've been acting so weird, and he's explaining that what happened with Hobuto, how he disappeared, and right, and this is what happened with her dad with his injury, right? And Tosa's seeing this, and he's telling his wife to go back to her Rika's apartment, and seeing that what's happening though, because since Kyoshi is out, right, they go back to his apartment where his mailbox is to get something. Like, he slid a big envelope, and a guy takes it and leaves something in there, right? And he was gonna go back and retrieve it with also what was in his mailbox, right? And then all of a sudden, the elevator opens, and then there's Kiyoshi right there, and Totsu is just like, he has that shit like, oh my god, he's dead. He is so dead. Well, he said that looks saying, I am dead. I am so dead, so. And that's how the episode ends. I mean, with him like, oh boy, how is he gonna get out of this now? So episode 7 was another once again really great episode. I mean, this time now by the time the daughter Rika, she's been getting very suspicious of what her parents, because they've been acting so weird lately, and the guy Kiyoshi leaving the note to her saying that your parents are hiding something, and he wants answers, saying, well, what does she think? Even the previous episode, in episode 6, right, dealing with the whole debunking that fake video, because they didn't know about Nobuto, how the way he walks, right? I mean, because they only knew him through his appearance though, but they didn't count on how the way the guy walked. But and the whole funny thing towards the end of the episode with the wife giving the guy laxatives, and even her husband got it too. They're both having the freaking runs, right? And then just when the daughter catching her dad behind the house taking a shit, right? It's like, oh, in that embarrassing moment. But then leading to episode 7, suspicious are beginning to rise. It's just especially for the daughter. She's just she's wondering what happened to her boyfriend, and why her parents are they really hiding something. So she wants to know. And Kiyoshi, baiting the parents in, because probably knows that the daughter's gonna be texting him, right? So kind of like baiting them in. So, and then when he pops out of the elevator, and Tosu has that oh crap look on his face, But yeah, episode 6 and 7, they're really good episodes. Finally got a chance to cover it, because, like I said, I don't know how Crunchyroll, how they screwed up the subtitles from another show and put into this episode, right? I don't know what they did there though. So, I mean, this is very weird. Like, just hearing all these things, and like, these out of place subtitles, even some other subtext, like phone, whatever, right? That was just, it was weird and so out of place. I mean, just I'm like, what is going on? Why? These aren't the subtitles at all. But yeah, all that aside, though, I think both episode 6 and 7 are really good episodes. I mean, my home hero is showing being. I know that the Hell's Paradise is gaining popularity. I know that Oshinoko is very popular as well, though. But I think that My Home Hero, for the setting of the series, I think it deserves a little more praise. I think this is becoming a very underrated series, and I will say that I think it is becoming a very underrated series, for the way it's toned and the way it's set up. Ordinary family, husband, right, trying to get out of this mafia crime syndicate, right. But all that just to do is to protect his child, But yeah, and the whole thing with like with Kasen meeting with Kyoshi's mom, right? I don't think her mom doesn't know what his son is involved in, but he shows that he's been a good son, helping his mom with necessities and stuff, caring for her, right? And feeling kind of guilty about that. That's why she didn't put that stuff there, and that was in that bag to frame his mom. She couldn't do that, though. she felt guilty though. I mean, the whole thing with his dad when he was little, hanging himself due to the being victim of the mob and all that stuff, overtaking their restaurant. She just felt bad though, but. Still, episode 7 was a really good episode. So yeah, but both episodes 6 and 7 finally got a chance to cover both of them back to back. So, but they're both good episodes, and I can't wait to see how Tosa's going to get out of that in the next episode, though. But yeah, suspicions are very starting to heat up once again, especially the daughter. Eventually she's gonna find out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you next time. Later.